Hey everyone, welcome to My Final Play. We're here on location this week with former Penn State running back Derek Day. Derek, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
So we're going to get right into it. What sport did you play, and to what extent did you compete?
The sport that I always really defined myself as, I was a football player.
Yeah.
Obviously grew up playing a lot of different sports, but football was it. And I played in high school at a Quad A school in Pennsylvania, and then walked on to Penn State and eventually earned a scholarship at Penn State University.
Yeah, unreal. So, is there any better feeling than being in that tunnel, waiting to come out to 110,000 fans screaming, "We are Penn State"?
I'll tell you what, at the time, there's so many emotions before the game, going out, that it's right then and there. You don't really realize what's going on until after the fact. If there's that one moment that you just take a second to just step back and you see the 100,000 people just going absolutely nuts, and it was there's nothing like it. Absolutely nothing.
All right, so you played at a time through Penn State that you were under Coach Paterno, and you were also under Coach O'Brien. Those experiences, I can only imagine the emotion and the endurance that you went through in that program in that time.
Yeah, it was an incredible experience, and I feel truly blessed that I had the opportunity, and that's really all it was. Coming out of high school, it was an opportunity. I didn't get many big looks out of high school or anything like that. Ended up getting injured, which opened up the door to a walk-on position at Penn State, and it was an opportunity for me. So I, tried to take advantage of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you spent 5 years there, correct, and redshirted your freshman year?
Yeah. So altogether, technically 4.5 years, but 5 years on the football teams.
Okay. So walk us through your final play, your final game. Set that up for us and paint us that picture.
Oh boy! So it was 2012, and was my senior season with Penn State, and that was the year of first year for Coach O'Brien, and it was a very emotional year with the sanctions and whatnot. We were playing Wisconsin, was our very last game. We weren't eligible for a bowl because of the sanctions, and I just remember just everything. The last play that I played wasn't that exciting or anything. It was I can't even remember if it was a kickoff or a punt because there wasn't even a return on it. So it was kind of uneventful in that, but altogether it just brought things back to more like that last game, that last season, and there were so many emotions of what could have I done to maybe make that not my last play, So
absolutely.
But it was pretty overpowering of the different emotions that all hit you at once.
Yeah. So who did you guys play that game?
We were playing Wisconsin.
And it was a home game?
Yeah, it was a home game, and last game of the season, senior day, and the last play that I played, we either kicked off or punted to Wisconsin, and they ended up having an opportunity to kick a field goal the last play of the game as time ticked to zero, and they actually missed the field goal, and it was that moment just went crazy. Everyone, we all stormed the field from the sidelines. Helmets were getting thrown up in the air. Everybody, just because of all of the emotions that the fan base and you and your teammates went through. Right. It was just it was a great moment, great finisher for all of us as seniors, but then everybody on the team as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and not even just the fact that it being the last game of that season, but just to what the whole program had gone through, to be able to go out on a win.
Absolutely.
Was definitely an awesome experience. So, explain to us, up to that point, to what extent did you identify as a football player?
Well, from pretty much from the moment that I stepped on campus at Penn State, my identity was, a football player, and
Right.
that was I don't want to speak for everyone else, but I feel as though whether or not that individual felt that way or not, that's how they were perceived by everyone.
Right.
And it was seen on a different level almost because that we kind of had to really mind everything that we did because we were being watched.
Yeah, definitely was the spotlight.
Absolutely, there was a spotlight, but that was everything that I was. I defined everything that I did. I felt that was my identity. I was a Penn State football player.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, as far as those emotions that you explained with it being your final game, did that hit you going into that game, or did it take a little bit after the game to sink in? Or when did they all come to a head?
I never, as far as I remember, I don't think that it was as much building up to that point. I think it was more I wanted to keep that aside because I didn't want to think about those things. But a little bit afterwards, within the few days after that last game or even that night, it was very emotional. Wow, it's all coming to an end.
Right.
Really.
Well, I mean, as far as the identity up until that point, like you said, at that point it was done. So, so with those emotions and that being your final game, if you could go back to a 15-year-old you, the talent's there, the opportunities are there, but no offers yet. What's one piece of advice that you would give yourself that would help you to where you are today?
Oh boy. Well, I would say that one piece of advice that I would give myself is that to never place a limit on your own potential, because going into a program like Penn State, having the opportunity as a walk-on, I didn't really know what I went in there and thinking am I ever going to play, and I was hearing that from different people around that would say, do you really think that you're ever going to play at a place like Penn State? And then you get up there and make one or two plays here and there on the scout team, and it's like, wow, I can actually do this. So I've my theory from that is an individual's potential is restricted by the limitations that they place on themselves.
Right.
So without, if you can set goals that people will think are unattainable, that plenty of people say that,
right.
Then you're always going to try to achieve some things that are beyond maybe what some people think that you can do.
Absolutely. I mean, and the fact that being a scholarship player at a Division I football program, I mean, it's less than 1% of high school students going to play at that level. So to not limit yourself is definitely something that's, great things to think about. So, I mean, I definitely appreciate that, and to be able to get that insight is a cool experience. So, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the content today. If you did, like and subscribe below. And in addition, remember, whatever it is that you do today, take it with the mindset of, is this my final play? Thanks a lot.
Thank you.